So the first bill for our consideration is House Bill 7. Reading clerk will please read it in.
House Bill 7 engrossed underage marriage amendments.
I'd ask the body to resist this change and vote no on the bill. There are communities such as our Amish, Hutterites, and Mennonites here in Wyoming that would be in violation of this law if it was to pass.
It's 15-12. House Bill 7 has passed the committee of the whole.
And yet another example of many conservatives, their desire to protect the children. There's a bill going around in Wyoming where they're looking to put some kind of bottom into how much or how young children can be married. It's 16 years old is what they're attempting, but apparently many of these folks in power don't want any of these types of rules put in place. This bill that they're opposing would add that minimum age requirement for it and also other aspects of it surrounding folks' parents in doing so. Here's some details of it. This bill, which already passed the Republican-controlled Wyoming House of Representatives on a 36-25 vote last month, proposes banning state residents from marrying anyone under the age of 16. While also requiring anyone under the age of 18 seeking to get married to receive written consent from their parents under the eye of a competent witness. Maybe a couple rules involving this so that maybe people won't just be indoctrinated, groomed, and then married off to who knows who or for whatever reason. Still, child marriage in the country, though, is more common than many would think. I remember finding this out several years ago and going, I didn't realize it was this much. But it's also a common practice across the country, even now. While the number of child marriages nationally has been in a steady free fall over the last few decades, just 7 states to date have voted to ban it entirely, even as countries like the Philippines passed national laws banning the practice altogether. But then some of these other states are trying to go even harder towards it because that's the way we respond. Other states like Tennessee, which we heard from last week, have officially sought to go in the opposite direction, with Republicans there seeking last year to eliminate any limits on marriage entirely until public outrage forced them to reverse course on that. And we talked about that idiot who can't stop talking about how he wants every 14 to 12-year-old married off and pregnant. We've heard from him before, but Jess, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, it's the same people that are saying that if you're a member of the LGBTQ plus community, you're a groomer, right? These conservatives are somehow okay with children getting married. They're never speaking out against these laws that allow you to get married under the age of 16 is insanity. And even between 16 and 18 is ridiculous as well. I mean, to marry a child off who's prepubescent, not only that, but their brain hasn't fully developed yet. They cannot consent to a life-altering decision like this. And it's creepy. And why is it that that's an okay way of life that you'll protect, even if it's different from your own? But me marrying another woman consensually is somehow something that you can't get behind. It doesn't make sense. And it reminds me of that video, right? About high precision missiles and how they figure out where they are by subtracting everywhere they aren't, which is a strange calculation to consider, but this is how you can figure out why conservatives make decisions they do, because they're not gonna tell you straight up. So what do we find from the data? There are about 300,000 child marriages in the United States, and the vast majority of them are young girls married to adult men. The whole reason they support this is because they want to live in a patriarchal society. It's very simple. This is something that benefits them. The heterosexual kind of relationship where it's a very young girl and an older man keeps up this power structure that we've had for so long of women being subservient to men. And really at the end of the day, this is what it's about. This is why they're okay with it.
They feel it's a little bit easier if you got someone that's younger and maybe hasn't experienced as much, you can convince them of things like that. It's always back to the control. And when grown ass women have fought back against it's okay, we gotta go a little younger. Let's keep it real.